Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I am Vibin Sonic here today to present to you all my very first NBA 2K23 video. This video will consist of mostly full gameplay. As always, I went into the rec center with randoms to see what I can do. My character is not maxed out yet with attributes and badges. I believe I'm currently a 92 overall, 91 overall, and I'm still missing quite a few badges in general for each and every single category. Especially my finishing category, that one is currently glitched, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but that kind of ruins part of my idea for this build. This year my build is listed as a 3-point shot creator. Okay, so very interesting. For those that have played NBA 2K23, you are well aware that this year, as far as making a build goes, it can be very complicated, I guess you could say, but also free at the same time. You're going to see a lot of point guards that are like Penny Hardaway, Magic Johnson, LeBron James size, you know, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", somewhere in that range. Just because you can do a lot and still not lose some of the critical attributes at the same time. So you're going to see that quite a bit. I have to make a 6'4" point guard this year. I didn't want to go too tall, mainly because I figured a way after looking at some videos and whatnot, and then also kind of finagling with the system itself to, in my opinion, balance out the build while also providing myself, you know, decent speed, good shooting, good passing, good speed with ball, good defense, and be able to drive. So I believe that this will work out. So far, in every single rec match that I've played with randoms, there hasn't really been any point guards, whether they're tall or the same height as me, that have been able to, you know, really score at will, do anything crazy. So it's proving to be very effective as of right now. And my like I said, my attributes have not been maxed out yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things are once I do get the attributes maxed out. Speaking of attributes, upgrading a player costs a lot. I bought VC this year, like I do usually, anytime, but at the moment I refuse to buy any more VC than what I got, because I bought the game, and then I bought $50 worth of VC, and you know, got my player to where it is now, but it costs so much more to continue upgrading it. I just kind of just sat around and not really done too much upgrading at all. Now, with that being said, it does seem to be effective as far as the play style, but I am missing out on some things. My perimeter defense is at a 70, my steals are at a 70. I still have a lot more speed with ball I can get on the character. I believe my actual speed and acceleration also still is not max, but it's close. So there's a lot of crucial attributes that I am missing out on for sure, and it should end up making a huge difference, because there's certain badges that I'm missing out on because I don't at the moment hit that threshold. Like quick first step, I can't get that past silver at the moment because my speed with ball is not as high as it is supposed to be, which I made it the way it was when I, you know, made the character. So if I'm not mistaken, I do have access to Hall of Fame quick first step, but because my attributes aren't high enough to get it yet, I can't equip it, and it's like I can't spend as much VC on this just to get that right now. Like this is a little too much. So, you know, we'll try to make it work, but certainly things have been looking very spooky for me from time to time, for sure. Now, moving on, I have to say that as of right now, this year and this 2K, I like it. I like it a lot. This 2K, from what I've been experiencing and what I've been seeing from other people, it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of potential to be up there in those top 2Ks. Okay, 2K11 is still the best 2K of all time to me. And 2K16, some people like to say 2K16. I like to say 2K11. But either way, I feel like you can't really go wrong with either one, I suppose. But slight bias to 2K11 just because that one, which is part of the thing that makes this one great, is that 2K11 had a skill gap, right? It had a skill gap. There was no park stuff yet, so the main thing in that I think people just kind of missed out on is that you know, you had crew mode. So you play crew mode, you play team up, you know, you play the online 5v5 or whatnot, you get your games in. But the crew mode and the players and that, so it's quite the time. There's always going to be 2K. I mean, there's always some cheesy things within each 2K. That's something that just doesn't seem to be going away. There's always going to be some form of like a cheesy thing to use in the game, or some type of exploit, or, you know, just something that the players in the community manage to utilize consistently. And in 2K11, that was the spin dunk, I would say. But nonetheless, that game was absolutely fantastic. I mean, other than that, stuff like that, there was a lot of balance. There was a lot of, hey, you could tell this person is trash because they can't do this, they can't do that. And that's the way how things appear to be with this game currently. The game speed itself has slowed down. It's going to be interesting to see how things are once everyone is walking around with maxed out builds with badges and attributes. There have been people that have already figured out, you know, ways to kind of bypass what 2K's done with the dribbling and stamina, with the adrenaline boost and whatnot. You don't have every single point guard going left, right like how they used to. So that's fantastic, and it's fucked up a lot of point guards. The ones that I would deem to be trash because that's all they could do, and then they would just, you know, 3-hunt. But the ones that are good, they adapt to the situation. And here they are, back on top. Now you got dribble guys like Steezo the God that, you know, manages to just break any 2K no matter what type of restrictions they try to put on him, whether if it's changing signature dribbles, signature styles, combos, animations, things like that. Make the game slower, make the game faster, you know, make it so that you can't do this, so you can't go left, right too often, or you can't misdirect too often. It doesn't matter. He manages to find a way. And then, you know, those that manage to replicate what he puts out in his dribble tutorials, they end up doing the same thing. But that's obviously not going to be the majority of the population. And that's what you want. You shouldn't have a game where every single person, if they want to, are able to just go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then shoot a green. Or left, right, 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 behind some screens and shoot a green. There's no skill in that. There's no skill in that. Nobody wants to play against that. Nobody wants to see that. It's not fun. It's not fun. Okay. And when the game first came out, the main thing that was the issue was post hooks. Even without timing it, you just had to hold it down and all of a sudden you would green it. That was glitched, and it was basically an exploit. At this point, 2K's fixed it, but there are some people still that are definitely going crazy with post hooks, with post scores. So we'll see how that goes. But aside from that, I mean, I know people have complained about the fact that they can't make whites in this game the same way how they've done before. But I gotta say, I mean, you want a shooting skill gap, and that's the thing that people don't seem to understand. I mean, yeah, it's obviously demoralizing, you know, if you're shooting wide open jumpers and you're just missing constantly, even if it's not a green, because after all, you got, you know, pretty high stats and whatnot. I guess 2K has to figure out a way to somewhat balance that. We don't have the sniper badge anymore, so people can't shoot as easily as they could in last year's 2K, because that was probably the easiest game to shoot in ever. But you also do want to punish those that aren't able to green consistently. I mean, it makes sense. That's part of the game. that's the measurement and, you know, your ability to shoot. So if one person knows their jumper and are able to hit greens, then obviously they're going to make the shots. And then if someone else is not able to time their shot too often and they get slightlies constantly, then no, they should not be making every single one of their shots. Maybe they can make some, but you can't be having that. There's got to be a way to distinguish those that are good at the game, those that are great at the game, you know what I'm saying, and the gods. Shooting, it has to be that way. But maybe they can figure out a way to fine tune it so where whites goes in a little bit more. I don't know if they can, so personally I think that they probably should not touch the shooting. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Because even me personally, like I had a hard time. I found the very first jump shot I used was Marcus Smart, just a default NBA player. And then I kind of tried to, you know, find something to use in Shot Creator like I normally do. I noticed that base 98 is not an option, which is the base that I've been using for since 2K20. And so that was obviously an adjustment. Right now, I am currently using LaMelo Ball's jumper or a base, and I have the Steph Curry release 1 and 2. So it's just a 50-50 mix, and it's maxed out. The grades for the shooting itself is pretty good, and from what you can see and what I've been doing in the past couple of games is that I've managed to get the timing good, and I've basically been greening all of my shots. I think in this game I didn't miss a single 3-point shot, and I believe, you know, just in general, it's been pretty good. When I started with Marcus Smart, I also timed that pretty well each and every single time, but it seemed like to me Marcus Smart's jumper, you know, the release speed of it may have been a little too slow to really accommodate my play style as a point guard. You know, it's going to be difficult to use a slow jumper when you're at a point guard, because usually you're setting up other people. People aren't usually setting you up. That's not usually how it goes. And so most of the time you're going to have to, you know, shoot a shot off the dribble and maybe stop and pop, or, you know, just off the dribble entirely. And so with a Marcus Smart jumper, even if I customize it and max out the speed, it wasn't really that convenient for me. So I felt like I had to find some sort of change. And so there were some other jump shots that I tried out prior to that, and when I went in the rec, it was just slightly, constantly, slightly. And so now I think I found the jump shot that I like for this year. So we shall see. But nonetheless, I know I've not really talked about the actual game itself that has been occurring in the video. But essentially, I put this up because this video here, as you saw, 2 teammates left the game. You know, the thing that randoms normally do when things are looking pretty bad, or if they aren't getting stats, etc. They leave the game, and somehow, some way, with the 2 AI in yet another game, I managed to get another victory with the assistance of my teammates, mainly the center, because the other guy really wasn't doing much. But, you know, with the center, hitting shots, setting people up, and playing great defense. And like I said, so far, even though I don't have all my defensive badges and all my defensive upgrades up, I haven't seen, like, my matchups have not really been doing shit. It's kind of crazy. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how things go once I do get that stuff maxed out, because another thing that people have been, you know, kind of complaining about in the game is the glove badge. It seems that people that have, you know, high steal with the glove badge on, they haven't really specified a badge level, but that badge in general, which is a tier 3 badge, it seems to be overpowered because you got people just kind of walking up to point guards and plucking the ball from them, even if they got gold unpluckable. And there's some people that have asked for that to be nerfed, and then there's others that feel like it should remain the same because they don't want to get to a point where point guards can just freely dribble in your face and not really worry about getting the ball stolen, which it shouldn't be that way. But at the same time, you should not also be able to just walk up to a point guard and hit square at any point in time and immediately get a steal animation that's kind of forced. So that's the interesting thing there as far as balancing. So I guess we'll have to see what exactly 2K decides to do with that. You don't want to get into a situation where they, you know, nerf that to the point where defense is kind of pointless again, or, you know, take a huge step back. But you also want to give some sort of balance on that end, because at the end of the day, someone should not just be able to freely walk up to you and pluck the ball even while you're trying to protect the ball, for example. So I'm not sure if that's what people are also experiencing, where they just, you know, kind of walk up the court and they're actually protecting the ball or using their animation, and the person is still just spamming squared and all of a sudden they get an animation. That would be OD. So we'll see how things go with 2K on that end. But yeah, first video, 2K23, 2AI, still get the dub anyway with absolutely great stats. We out here, baby. You already know the vibes. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and if you are new to the channel, hit the goddamn subscribe button. I see you all around. Peace and blessings.